custody, recording on the Zoom. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Roman Around podcast. My name is Roman Perryman. Thank you for joining me today. We are on the air, coming at you. It's been a crazy week. I got my hair down, letting the hair flow today because, man, there's a lot to cover. I've had an exciting weekend, and I'm really excited to share some of the stuff that I've been up to, some of the stuff that's going on. We had some big events this weekend, and so let's just jump into it. Starting with the talk of the weekend was Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's got to be pound for pound the number one fighter right now after his demolishing of Justin Gaethje. There's no other way around it. Justin looked so good too, and I mean, he was throwing everything he could at him, but Khabib, his constant, relentless pressure was just too much for him, and so he's got to be the most talented, or not the most talented, but the most dominant fighter that I've seen. He hasn't lost yet. He barely takes damage. I mean, he besides like Iaquinta, I believe most of his fights have all been finishes. All of his title defenses, I believe, have been finishes. And he just choked him out, man. He choked him out with a triangle. But I knew going in, this is what I was kind of thinking going in. Khabib, obviously, his track record speaks for itself, and he's a phenomenal athlete. I mean, no one's really touched him since, but only seeing him compete around once a year, that's kind of been his track record. Sometimes you forget how good he actually is. And so I knew that walking in, I knew how good he was going to be. And I was even thinking about it, like, this guy is so good. There's no way I'm going to bet against him. No way. And then the more, especially when you start listening to him and you start hearing him talk again, I like hearing like foreigners when they talk trash because he's just so straightforward with them. He's like, this guy, he's good at he stops one takedown and then no one else shoots on him. Me, I'm ready to take him down 100 times. He said, I'm ready to take him down 100 times. And then he goes, and they were all saying like, I know you guys come to me, you say he's good on feet, but everyone good on feet until I grab them. And I just love hearing that from him. And it's true. That's kind of the facts, man. I mean, he's hit a lot of competition that bring a different style to try and attack him with, and no one's kind of figured out the puzzle of Khabib, and that's why he has been the most dominant. And like, I almost thought Gaethje because I was listening to his coach Tanner Whitman, and he's going to be like, he said it's going to be who can essentially make the other one uncomfortable, who can make the other one work a little bit harder, who it's 100% mental. It's who can impose their will on the other person so that they're not fighting their fight, they're fighting their opponent's fight. And man, it was all Khabib. I mean, the first 2 minutes were literally like feel out. Like, there wasn't many punches thrown. Most of the punches that were thrown with a feeling out intention. It wasn't really thrown to kind of hit. And so that first 2 minutes was stressful for me. I mean, I was on my feet. I was tense. I was hopping around. It was I was sweating, palm sweating everywhere. But I was watching. And Khabib's just pressure, he slowly just kept going, and Khabib wasn't reacting to anything that Justin was throwing at him. But Justin was reacting to everything that Khabib was throwing at him, and that's where the efficiency kind of comes in, and you can kind of tell that, like, because Khabib's style, I mean, he sticks his head back and moves his head a lot. He's always bringing his head back and moving, and he still has his hands up, but they're kind of out here, like blocking anything, and then he would throw, and Justin was ready for everything. He lowered his stance a little bit. I think he widened his stance a little bit for Khabib just to make sure that the wrestling wasn't there. But he was going low and really biting on everything that Khabib was doing. And so by a minute and a half left in the first round, there was more striking. There was more action. And you started to see Justin turn red, face turn red, body turn red. You started to see him breathing out of his mouth. And that's when I was like, man, like, I think Khabib's gonna start taking over. He took him down at the end of the first round, and then he really started moving in. And I thought for Gaethje to win, he really needed to control the distance on the feet more, so that when Khabib did go into his space, he could maybe put some damage onto him. Uh, but the thing is he would have to do damage to him, and he was. I mean, he was hitting him with good leg kicks. You can see Khabib was adjusting to the leg kicks because they did do some damage. But at the same time, Khabib was stone cold, still walking through, still pressing. The pressure that he was putting on was second to none. It was wild to see, and I was just so I was so excited to actually see it again. And man, he looked dang good. But I think it really was the fact that uh, Justin had to overreact. He was overreacting. He had to react to everything that Khabib was throwing, and because he did that, that's what tired him out more. And so by the time he did get the takedowns at the end of the first round, he was just trying to hold on for the last 40 seconds. And then when he got taken down in the second round as well, he was tired. And Khabib didn't even try to ground and pound. Khabib was going straight for submissions. He went for the armbar in the first round, and then he went for the triangle that ended up being the ending of the fight with triangle choke by Khabib on Justin. And it was so beautifully done. I mean, Khabib, it looked like that was the way that Khabib wanted to go out, because he did retire after that fight. But it was just so special, just kind of seeing it. That he was like right after it happened, people were cheering. He wanted to quiet them all down. He went and said a prayer, came up, started crying, and really said he was walking away from the sport. That was his dad's dream, and that he didn't even want to go out for this fight because he told his mom didn't want him going into a fight without his dad and her husband in the corner. And so that was a special moment, like kind of seeing that and having him walk away on his own terms and kind of see what's next for him, start that next path of life. I mean, it's interesting. Like, he came from nothing. I mean, I don't know what they're doing in Dagestan, but it is like, where's the documentary on it? Documentary. Oh my gosh. Where's that? I'd want to watch that. Like, can we watch those guys train? Can we watch those guys grow up and see what they're put through? Because they are a different breed over there. After I heard Justin's coach, Tanner Whitman, talking about it's going to be a mental game, and that it's going to be who can make someone more uncomfortable, I was like, Justin might actually have a chance. And then I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw this video of Khabib, and he was swimming into the current in a freezing Russian river. And I was like, JK, this guy is not going to be uncomfortable in that octagon. I'm going Khabib. And that's what happened. And so Khabib, shout outs to you, because you are a phenomenal athlete. I mean, I'm overjoyed watching you, and I'm excited that you get to leave the sport on your own terms, and that I'm thankful for all the entertainment you have provided me, because the Khabib show has been an entertaining one for sure. And I'm sure that a lot of people can contest to that and appreciate it as much as I do, because you don't see it very often. You don't see people that dominant. You saw it like the previous one, like that you see, and the way that Khabib did it was kind of GSP, where GSP would kind of take people down, and then really just beat them up and not even try to submit them, just like win rounds, but dominating rounds. And so that's kind of what I always like, because I'm a huge St. Pierre fan. I would love to see that fight. I know that they are still talking about it, but that would be something special for me, just because I'm a huge GSP fan. And so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm excited for what that opens up for the division too, because the top 5 in the division are phenomenal athletes. With Tony, with Gaethje, with McGregor, with Poirier, with Chandler jumping in that mix as well. There's some exciting fights, and even with those 5, I see a lot of round robin action. I see one guy beating the other, but losing to another guy, and seeing that kind of cycle go through. Unless someone can really step in there and pave the way and start dominating the way that Khabib did, I think it's going to be one that belt is going to be hard to secure for long periods of time. But I am excited because these guys are active fighters and they want to be active fighters. I know Gaethje, if he has the belt, he's not going to just sit on it. And I loved watching Khabib, but he was only fighting like once a year because of Ramadan and stuff. And it'd be nice to get a champion in there who's willing to put it on the line multiple times a year to really keep this division moving forward. And so I'm excited for that division. 155 is a toss-up. It's going to be interesting who even they choose for the interim belt, because I can't imagine that the next fight besides Poirier McGregor would it be for a title fight. And so do they do one after that, or do they wait to see the result of that and then someone fights? That we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully they don't keep that belt up too long and they can get a unified champ again, since the undisputed is now out of the sport. But man, that's what I spent my Saturday doing. It was in Abu Dhabi, and so I had to actually change up my whole schedule because the main event started at 2 p.m. and not the original like 10 p.m. that we're used to seeing. And so I had to get off work. I had to figure all that out. I was like, I am not missing these fights. And so it was an interesting weekend, but it allowed me to have a Saturday off for the first time. And so I was very grateful for that. Some other things that I've kind of been into, and I want to keep you all updated is I've been like, I'm a big Audible guy, not the fastest reader. And so I don't read too much. It's more of me listening to books. I think my ROI on reading is just way better when I'm listening, because I can listen to a book basically 2 or 3 times over before I'd finish it if I sat down and read it, just because I lose track. I get off centered. I stop. I continue reading but stop thinking, and I'll have to reread pages. And so Audacity has been my book listening of choice, and I'm listening to a few good books right now. I listened to the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. That guy is something special. I mean, if you listen to that book and you're not juiced up to go out there and start attacking whatever it is that you're working on, you got to re-listen to it, or you're reading it out of the wrong context, because that guy will get you excited about life. He'll get you excited about whatever you are wanting to get excited about and how it's going to look. He talks about setting goals. That's one of the big things that he does, is because he says that we set goals way too low standard, and then we end up not even hitting those. And he goes, if you set your goal 10 times higher, even if you only reach half your goal, you're still way more than you would if you set your goal low and you actually reached it. And that was something that really kind of hit me, and something that really resonates with me, because I felt like even in high school, like one of the reasons why I didn't become a 2-time state champion and beyond is because I never actually reset my goals after becoming that one time, my first state title back in 2007. And so that was one thing that really stuck with me, was being able to change the goal, set it so high that even if you miss, you're still going to do something special with a missed goal. And so I did like that. And he just pumps you up. He tells you like how much effort you need to put in, what the levels of effort look like, and then how your attitude should be too. He is a killer, and he is going for it. And he's like, if you're in my way, he goes, there's no such thing as competition, as good competition. Like, you're out there to really attack people and like know that you got stuff you got to do. You are going for your goals, and you are going to reach them no matter what. So if you need a book recommendation and you're looking to get inspired and you need a little kick in the ass, go listen to Grant Cardone, because he'll have you dang doing push-ups in the office right before a sales call, and get you on that. And so Grant Cardone, 10X Rule, highly recommend. I'm going to be listening to it again, especially because between each chapter, he gives you like little things to reflect on, questions to ask yourself, and just little reflection kind of bullets. And I listen to most of my books in the car, and so I couldn't actually take out my notebook and start noting those things down. But that's why I'm going to re-listen to it and do that as well, just when I'm not in the car. And so if you are an audible car listen tour, uh, you might want to maybe pause and take some notes sometimes, and so that you can get uh, the full value of the book that he's provided. Quick little coffee sip. The next book that I was reading, or that I'm currently listening to, I'm about halfway through, is the Oxygen Advantage, and it talks about the benefits of nose breathing. And this was one that I've always been interested in because of just different breathing techniques that I've practiced. I've done the Wim Hof. Joe Dispenza has his own kind of breathing techniques that he does. I've done Ujjayi breathing during yoga and things like that. And so this was one that I was very interested in, especially because we always used to make fun of mouth breathers. Like, whatever you're in a combat sport, wrestling, whatever that sport is, if you see the other guy visibly breathing heavy throughout his mouth, you know that he is tired. And so that body language is something that we were always taught to not do, just because you didn't want to show any sign of weakness to your opponent. And so it was interesting kind of hearing the science behind how impactful nose breathing is, coming from Patrick McKeown. And it's just interesting, like how nose breathing just really even like impacts, like it changes the oxygen that goes into your body, and it utilizes it in a different way that mouth breathing doesn't do. They go into a lot of scientific terms in this as well. And he mentions how nitrous oxide is created, how your body regulates the temperature of the air before it comes in when you breathe through your nose, and that you're really using the your diaphragm and the bottom part of your lungs with that deep breath that you don't get when you inhale through your mouth with a shallow lung breath. A lot of breathing through your chest and not your diaphragm. I mean, this guy goes to the extent where he's talking about duct taping your mouth closed during the night so you can train yourself for 8 hours, roughly, while you're sleeping, to be a nose breather. He recommends it during workouts as well. I've done it a couple times during workouts, tape on the easy workouts, and then I've just kind of kept my mouth closed during wrestling and stuff. And it is interesting. It's like I'm still doing the techniques and learning and to adopt the techniques that he mentions in the book, as he does give a good amount of recommendations for all levels of fitness. I mean, he gives you these techniques, and he has the recommendations be things like until you have the urge to breathe, until you have a medium urge to breathe, until you have a strong urge to breathe. And then after some of his breathing techniques, whether it be breath holding or just getting one of your scores that he has in the books, you don't want to be over breathing on your way out. You want to be able to catch your breath in 2 to 3 breaths after a breath hold. And so you don't want to hold your breath to the extent where your face is purple and your body is kind of reacting weird. You just want to have that decently strong urge to kind of breathe. And he really breaks them down in some good ways. And so if you are someone who is a mouth breather, notice it and want to make changes about it, I believe it's influential. That's what Patrick McKeown is saying. And his science behind it is, there's a lot of science in that book that he educates on. And it's definitely a good listen to if you are someone that is aware of your breathing, you want to become aware of your breathing, or if you just even have like lung issues. I know my mom, I've been trying to get her to be a nose breather, not even really pushing her hard, but more so just to become aware that you are breathing out of your mouth a lot and that you're not breathing through your nose. I actually have a stuffy nose right now. And so I've been, I don't know if it's allergies, but I had some wine last night, and I think that might have given me a stuffy nose too. But I've been trying to fight breathing out of my nose, and if I can, like, even if I have a stuffy nose, even if I focus like for 15 to 20 minutes just breathing through my nose, it is difficult because I'm pushing through some gunk. But after 20 minutes, my nose is actually cleared up. And it's an interesting that like my body just sees that I'm nose breathing, fights out the gunk, and continues to open up that air pathway so that I don't have a clogged up nose anymore. And so it's an interesting book. The concept of nose breathing, I think, is wonderful. I've been practicing with it, and so I'll keep you posted uh, if any effects, anything like that. I'd be happy to share. And if you're interested, reach out to me because I've done some breathing treatments, I've done some breathing exercises, and I enjoy learning more about my breath and how it impacts my body and the reactions, the physiological as well as the mental reactions that I have when I do these different breathing exercises. And so something I'm passionate about. I mean, we're always breathing. Why don't we focus on it just a tick more and kind of see if we can utilize this already life-giving action that we have to make it give us more. If we can utilize it more, let's do it. And so they talk about blood doping and stuff as well. They talk about it in sports. And so right down my alley. Not surprised that once I kind of heard about it a couple months or a year, probably 2 years ago, I heard about it and it kind of stuck in my head. And then I just ended up buying the book and listening to it. And it's something that I feel like naturally came to me and something that I needed to focus on. And so learning more about it as we go. And so I wanted to share that with y'all. A couple other things that I've been doing recently with roaming around is um, I've been reaching out to businesses. I like the fact that um, I've tried like all the different gyms in Charlotte. I've tried a bunch of different styles of workouts and stuff. And so now it's like I want to try some products and I really want to see what these people are, what value a lot of these products are giving people, and seeing if people can really benefit from these. And because I want to see what the benefits are. I like experiencing new things. That's something that I've always been a fan of, just trying new things, a new experience, and then seeing if my experience can help someone else either notice or become aware that they are experiencing the same thing and that there is a cure for it, there is a fix for it, and that they don't have to have this one lingering problem that is stopping them from living their life to the fullest. And so I've gotten a couple physical products right now, including my Shama sandals, including the So Right, the self-massaging tool, and so been having these people on from these companies to share what they're doing, what they're giving to their guests, their customers, and the value that can be found in these products. And so I've been using my Shama sandals for a couple weeks now. They've been wonderful. I use them when I jump rope. I use them when I do some of my more isolating workouts, but I like moving my feet. I've ran a couple times in them. I've ran like short runs. I've ran 3.5, 4 miles in them as well. Those runs are a little bit harder on my feet, but I'm just having fun in them. And I mean, I even mentioned on the podcast with Shama Sandals that the first time I tried them, I was jumping rope and a dog was on the loose and I had to go catch a dog. And so they are dog catcher proof if you want to even go chase dogs around the neighborhood. If someone loses a dog, be that guy. If you are in Waxhaw, I guess I'm that guy that will be catching dogs if I do see them running around. And so give me a call if you need a dog catcher. But I've been using those. I've been using the So Right, which has been a phenomenal tool for my stretching and recovering that I've been trying to do recently. A lot of stretching going on around roaming around right now, just trying to get these hamstrings and my lower back not as tight as they are currently. And so I'm having fun with self-massaging these tools, learning how to use them. And I got the Jazzercise here too. I'll be having this interview coming out, I believe next week. And so we got Jazzercise too. That's been a cool product to kind of test out, get this bite a little more strong. And yeah, we've been doing that. And so I'm trying to reach out to these companies, get a feel for their products, get a feel for their benefits, experience some firsthand myself, and get someone to come on the podcast for an interview, and so that they can share the intention behind the product, their community, what they're up to, everything like that. And so it's been a fun couple months, getting these people on. I'm excited to see where it takes me. And so if you have any products that you either have and love, or you are interested in but would like to hear more, or just ones that, that spark, that are interesting, that you're like, hey, Roman, you might like this, boom. And so I want to try them all, whether it's a supplement, whether it's a physical body tool, whether it's a, you name it. I want to experience it. I want to try it all. And so we're starting with products. I also want to do experiences one day. I also want to travel. I want to do all that stuff. And so we're starting where we're at, and then we're just going to keep moving forward. And so, hey, we're having fun with it. Get ready, because this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning, and we got a long way to go. We just getting started roaming around. And shoot, I mean, this will be episode 81. We got shoot, if we're almost 2 years in. It's October. Next weekend is Halloween. I think that is wild. And I'm just happy to share the ride with y'all and share the journey with y'all, because man, I mean, this is a diary for me. It really just teaches me how to stay consistent and to keep putting effort into something, and to see where it goes and how it's going to grow. And so I appreciate y'all really joining the journey and experiencing with me. I want to find ways to connect with you guys more. I want to continue to build this community up. And so if there's anything I can do, feel free to reach out and join up with me somehow on any platform, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not barely on TikTok, but I want to be more on TikTok more. My website, email, shoot me something so I can kind of figure out what you guys are up to and what you guys want. Feel free to sign up for my emailing list on Roaming Around, because that is where I want to collect emails so that I can reach out to you guys directly. I want to build this community. I want to get it somewhere where you guys will actually benefit from becoming members of the community. And I want to continue to provide value to you all as best as I can. And so please share who you are out there, so that I can know who you are, and we can really attack this together and continue to grow. And so, hey, I appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you follow me at Roman the Empire on Instagram and Twitter, Roman Perryman on Facebook, roman-around.com. Subscribe to the podcast, YouTube, everything like that. It's been a pleasure speaking with y'all today and really sharing the update on what I've been up to and some of the things that I've been learning, as well as those amazing fights the other day. And so make sure you follow, share, subscribe. Hey, y'all are beautiful. I can't wait to see y'all soon. Hey, take care. Enjoy your week, and let's get after it. Reach out. Tell me the best part about your week. I want to hear it. Y'all have a great day. Holla at me, y'all. Let's get it. Roaming around.